So moving on again, and this winter has been really wet and very treacherous on the towpath and everything, and I've got to move. Well, recently we've had a baby about 5.5 months ago now, and so we've been restricted with our movements because we needed to be near water and just being in a safe place for getting the baby to and from the boat when it's been particularly hard. And it brings me on to the fact of what do you do when you're moored up for too long in one place, and what are the rules? Well, normally the rules are that you have to move every 14 days unless there's an area that you're moored in and it's signposted for something different. So where I was just then, I was at Kilby Bridge. It states on the side 48 hours, so you can only stay there 48 hours. However, in the winter this is different. So from November to April, you can be there for 14 days throughout the winter. But you are supposed to move every 14 days. Well, the thing is, both areas for where we've been, in both directions, there's been stoppages because going through Leicester there was flooding and warnings not to go on the river. So let's go through what we're told by so many of the Canal and River Trust people, and also all of the people that live on the boats, and just sort of explain how different the views are. One of the views of some people I hear quite often is you have to move to a different parish. Now, how are you supposed to know you're in a different parish? I have no idea, but that's one of them. Another thing is to the next bridge. Well, some places there's loads of bridges everywhere, and then sometimes there's absolute miles and miles and miles of no bridges. Some people think that it's only literally 100 yards and you can move 100 yards and that's fine. When you read the internet and it says how far you're supposed to go, it says something like bona fide continuous cruising. So what does bona fide continuous cruising mean? This took quite a few emails and a few phone calls to actually try and understand that. It means that you have got to be shown to be a continuous cruiser, plain and simply, and navigate the network to a degree that they are satisfied. Bona fide continuous cruising apparently is just to show that you're constantly moving and travelling in one direction. With being on a wide beam, that's not exactly the easiest thing to do, because there's a lot of dead ends or a lot of narrow passages where this is virtually impossible, particularly in the Leicester area or Leicestershire area where I work and need to be. So I would suggest that means that you have to turn around at some point. But apparently this doesn't calculate into your continuous cruising. If you turn round, it's not in the total mileage. So they want something like 24 kilometres in one direction without turning around. So the way I do it, I go all the way one way as far as I possibly can, and turn around and go as far as I can, or as far as I'm comfortable with travelling, in the other direction. Wow, that's heavy. Yeah, I personally think that as long as people allow everybody else to have a spot, I don't really see what the big deal is. But in the area I'm in now, I know that it's more of an issue in places like London. Apparently there's a lot of boats that are double mooring, and if not 3 and 4 abreast. So I can see the problem there, and potentially wanting to move them out of the way. But when it's, as you can see, the area I'm in, that's the 3rd boat I've seen in the last hour of moving my boat. So there really is not a lot of boats up here that are going to cause that much of an issue. But yeah, if that's the rule, that's the rule, and I do try and stick to it as much as possible. And normally every year it's quite easy to achieve 24 kilometres. It's not that far, particularly with the canal and the rivers winding around so much. So it's quite an ideal location where I'm working. I'm never more than 20 minutes drive away from work in any direction, so it's not so bad. It's not really particularly that hard. It's just that it's a little bit vague in the way they state it. But move 24 kilometres in one direction, and you've basically got 10 months the first year to prove that you can do that. And it doesn't matter how much you move, or it doesn't matter the distance you move each time. It can be a few hundred yards, just so it's obvious that you're not in literally the same spot, the mooring spot, to allow everybody to have that opportunity to be able to moor up in the spot that you were moored up in. I think that's fair enough. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'm really interested in your comments on this one, because I know that there's a lot of views about what you should and what you shouldn't do. And I know for the last 5-6 years I've been doing the boating, and there's been a lot of opinions of what people should be doing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the comments. See you soon.